Q, you remember that the core mandate of the agency is to observe, collate, and analyze meteorological data for timely and accurate reporting of weather, water, and climate information for, socioeconomic development, safety, and life of property. It is in line with this that the agency, produce different forecasts, that are very, very rich and useful for the general public. And of course, towards the end of the year, we usually assess our forecast to be able to ascertain for that previous year what has been the performance of our forecast. Daily too, we equally also evaluate and get feedback, because we have stations across the country. We get weather report from them. We know what is going on weather-wise. We try to also evaluate our models to also see how they are performing. So we're getting feedbacks, and we are using this to evaluate our forecast. And it has been above 80, 85 in most cases, and generally is even beyond that.
So what's the kind of feedback you're getting, especially based on your monitoring and evaluation?
Don't forget that when we give forecast, it's also important for us to be able to know that whether that forecast we have issued out actually play out the way we have expected it. So we try and reach out to almost all stakeholders that are directly working with us. We find out from the public as well. All our MET stations also give us weather report, which we use to evaluate what we have already issued out, to be able to also, ascertain whether the forecast we gave yesterday against today is actually right. So we do evaluate. We do also monitor from our own hand, and we use all this to also evaluate our model, how they are performing, and it has been wonderful.
So tell us about the synergy, you're getting with other stakeholders in the aspect of collaboration, because when this prediction is put out there, it's to help key agencies, plan properly to mitigate risk and disaster and all of that. What's the synergy like?
Yeah, the synergy has been very awesome. You remember at the beginning of every year, we usually do public presentation of the seasonal climate prediction, where all the stakeholders are usually invited to come and witness the public presentation of SCP. And all stakeholders, the farmers, water resources, all sector, aviation, marine and blue economy, name it, are usually invited. In fact, before the final presentation, we usually have what is called a stakeholders engagement, where we co-produce what is called socioeconomic implication of this forecast. So when we are doing the public presentation, they will also be invited. They will witness this. They are part of it. Farmers, agriculturists, name them, from different sectors of the economy to also be part of this. And that has been very, we've been having good, collaboration with them. With other MDAs too, like NEMA, sister agencies in the aviation industry, NISA and the rest of them, because I really can't list them now, quite long list. We do have, even with some NGOs, we partner with them in downscaling this seasonal climate prediction. We partner with states too to make sure that this gets to the grassroots. So we partner a lot with state government, with MDAs, federal agencies, and some other institutions to make sure that the forecast get to the grassroots. So we have a strong, collaboration and partner with so many institutions, including the universities too.
Yeah, and especially the grassroots is very important. But let's take a break. All right, Mr. Wasiu, you've seen from the reports being played, Mr. Wasiu, most of the concerns is, because of the heat waves from both regions and, in the aspect of health-related illnesses, heat-related illnesses rather. I'm throwing you back again to the assessment aspect. Do you make recommendations, because you said you work in synergy with critical stakeholders, do you make recommendations based on your assessment?
Yeah, thank you. We do. If you look at the seasonal climate prediction, like I said earlier, inside that document, you have socioeconomic implications as it affects different sectors of our economy. You have the advisory with it that also, for different sectors of the economy. And like I said earlier, there's no any forecast that we give out, because our forecasts are impact-based. What it means is we add value to it by adding advisory, by, giving advice to the public on what they should do. It's not just what the weather will be, but what we also the public do so that they can, be able to, adapt with this weather. Each of our forecasts go with all this advisory. You have recommendation for earth sector in particular. Most of the public, we usually advise them, especially for heat stroke, like you mentioned, wear light material, drink a lot of water, get dehydrated, stay in a ventilated area, stay less outdoor, particularly within the peak hours between 12 noon and 3 p.m. Try to reduce your, activity within this period. So many advisory, if possible, use hats or stay in a shared place where, the direct heat will not really, affect you. And,
what about aviation and marine operations? What kind of recommendations do you give to those sectors?
For aviation, don't forget that aviation, we work in aviation, and our forecast has been very, very useful. Without our forecast, no flight, operation can be carried out. And what we do is to give them a 30-hour away for forecast. There's also what is called SIGMET, TAF, META, SPECI, and the rest of them in different format for the pilot and airport users to be able, to know what is ahead of them. And for safety of airline operations, we do give out forecast. We advise the pilot visit a briefing room for him to know what is ahead of him, whether he should delay or probably cancel the flight. We always brief the pilot, the flight crew, and the airport users generally. They have this forecast and they are making good use of it.
Is it the same application for marine operations?
For marine, yes, the same. It is important that you know what the weather is over the ocean for the moving vessels before you embark on any journey. Otherwise, the weather can be so disastrous during your trip, and you know what that means. Nobody is interested in any hazard or any havoc or any accident. So it is also good to have the forecast ahead of you, which we are doing in marine and blue economy. We are giving out the forecast to vessels who are applying through the oceans, the airport users, like I said earlier, the transport industry, the farmers, almost all sectors of the economy are, enjoying our weather, and they are making good use of it for them to have, to take an informed decision and also an appropriate action.
You said they're enjoying the weather, but some Nigerians are not enjoying what April has brought forth. Talking about the heat stroke and all of that. They say prevention is better than cure, right? What kind of sensitization have you carried out? Earlier, you were talking about the whole taking down the message to the grassroots. How are you carrying out this sensitization? Let's hear it.
When I say they enjoy the weather, let me go back to that. They do, because if you don't have the information earlier, if you caught unaware, it's going to be more, more than you expect.
Yeah.
But when you have the information, you prepare ahead. Then for the sensitization part of it, we do a lot of sensitization. First and foremost, we make sure that our, prediction, SCP, for instance, now, is being produced in 5 different languages. The 3 major languages, Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo, then Pidgin, which is a common language in Nigeria, then we have the English, which is our national language. In these 5 different languages, it's been, produced and, sent to nooks and crannies of the country. It's a process for everybody to have it. It's just to ensure that it gets down to the general public. And at the beginning of every month, we also do what is called Weather Monthly Outlook. In Flyer, if you check all our social media handles, you will see this. Go to our website, you will see it. This is just to ensure that the forecast, the prediction, the outlook get to everybody. We have a YouTube channel that you can also visit and see all these are predictions there. So we try as much as possible to make sure that any forecast at all gets to the nooks and crannies of this country so that the users, the general public have access to it. So, and like we are doing now, it's also part of the sensitization, partnership with media houses, both TV and print media, to make sure that the forecast get to the end users. We are doing this.
Well, it's good you're leveraging every means, and especially technology. But I want to know, especially for those who don't know also, is NIMET Does NIMET has an app, like on the go, people just know what the weather will say for today? If no, it's NIMET rather considering putting that on board.
We do have NIMET weather app, which you can download on iOS or on the Android, for Android and iOS. We do have NIMET weather app. You can download it. The good thing about it is multi-sectoral in nature. You can have so many information on it for aviation, for farming, marine, multi-sectoral in nature, like I said. So many information, in that app that you can make use of. It's not just for aviation. It's not just for farmers. For marine and blue economy, earth-related, like we say, climate health, and so many information that you can get. Airport users, you can have access to know what the weather will be, so that if your flight will be able to, go to the destination or not. Rich information and is on iOS that you can download.
Okay, Mr. Wasiu, information is power. I asked that question because you'll be surprised that a lot of people don't know that NIMET has that. How do you intend to push that further so that people can just have it on the go?
Yeah, thank you for that. And that is why, the present management under the leadership of Professor Charles Anosike is, collaborating with so many NGOs, so many organizations, print and TV, media houses, to make sure that what we are doing is well known, nationally and even globally. We are engaging so many partners now to make sure that, including what they call them, MTN, Tomorrow, OI, and the rest of them. This is to make sure that we have a strong and well-established, transmission mechanism that will be able to disseminate our, forecast across all sectors of our economy and to the grassroots users, particularly farmers, particularly common man that need to know what the weather will be, so that he can plan his movement, he can plan his activities. We are partnering with so many organizations to make sure that our products, our forecast, our bulletin are getting to nooks and crannies of this country. So we are doing that. Are
you working with NOA?
Yeah, we are working with it's a federal organization. We are working with NOA, we are working with NEMA, we are working with, other sister agencies in the aviation. We are Ministry of Environment, Water Resources, NISA, quite a number of them. We are working with even some NGOs, like downscaling of our forecast. We partners with some states, some NGOs also, involved in this, to make sure that this forecast is downscaled to the grassroots, to the, common man, common farmers in the villages have access to, this forecast.
So we're in the month of April, Mr. Wasiu, before I let you go. What is the message really to Nigerians? Because this is the month people are actually, that's the scary part of what your prediction is saying because of the heat wave. So what's your message to Nigerians?
Yeah, my message is simple. We need to be weather ready. We need to be climate smart. We need to always listen to, NIMET, what will be the forecast, what will be the weather, what will be the prediction, so that you can plan ahead, you can be well informed, you can take an appropriate action, your decision can be well informed. You won't just do anything based on just, you will be weather ready, you'll be climate smart. So it's important for people to visit our website, go to all our social media handles, be abreast with weather information, plan your day, and, you will enjoy it.
And you should also consider breaking down those weather information in pidgin language so it gets to those Nigerians you're targeting. I just gave you a tip.
But you remember I said so. That even a seasonal climate
I'm
prediction.
talking about the daily weather forecast. You can consider pidgin also. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll try. We'll do that.
Great. Mr. Ibrahim Wasiu is the Deputy General Manager, Public Weather Services, NIMET. Thank you very much for coming on Weekend File.
Yeah, thank you for having me.